Okay, thanks Ray for introducing me and thanks for joining today. So this presentation will be centered around the art of listening. So to me, the art of real qual is not so much in the methods or techniques being used. Of course, methods and techniques are helpful, especially the digital tools that we currently have available. And sometimes agile technology solutions are crucial to meet the demands for speed and quality. But as with many tools, the value is in how we're using them. And when we talk about real qual, I think the value is in understanding people, how to listen well and how to interpret qualitative findings to create impact. And in a bigger context, to understand the possible role of qualitative in an increasingly data-driven world. Now that's what this presentation is about. So, what is real qual? In essence, real qual is about understanding the why, not literally by asking why, but by observing, listening carefully, and read between the lines. And by embracing incongruities, look for frictions and frustrations, and filling the empathy gap between customers and data. And by understanding the why, qual can provide a missing piece of insight that, in a world overwhelmed with data, can be the missing link to complete the story. Now let's deep dive in the art of listening. Asking right questions deservedly gets lots of attention, but listening well is equally important. In many ways, for example, listening without opinions, being sometimes naive and curious, empathizing with objective research, and by reading between the lines, meaning being able to interpret what's being said, as consumers are not always able to say what they mean. And by taking the say-do gap into account, as consumers don't always do what they say. And of course, by being aware of socially desirable opinions. And last but not least, by observing, by noticing what's not being said, which is sometimes even more important as it often shows unconscious behavior. And in this way, listening well can provide depth and context to available data and reveal opportunities not uncovered before. Take, for example, the Lego case you're probably familiar with. In the early 2000s, Lego lost its touch with their customers, and after failed attempts to reposition the company with action figures and other concepts, a major qualitative research project was initiated. Children were invited to play with Lego, and it showed that children were really passionate about the play experience and the experience of imagining and creating, which made clear that Lego needed to go back to marketing its traditional building blocks and focus less on action figures and toys. And today, Lego is once again a successful company. And qualitative, or thick data, as you might want to call it, proved to be its savior. So another example that illustrates the art of listening is a study we conducted for a fragrance company. We knew the deodorant category is focused on functional benefits and needs, like for example, 20 hours antiperspirant or gentle on the skin. But in order to differentiate, we needed to focus on the emotional experience related to deodorant usage. More specifically, we needed to understand how deodorant needs and experiences may change during the day and how activities during the day may impact these experiences. So via an online community, participants kept a private diary for 7 days and interacted with each other about their experiences with various deodorants. So while participants were focused on testing various deodorants, we were focused on their sensorial and emotional experience during various moments of the day. And after digging into the diaries and interacting with the participants for over a week, we learned that needs and experiences really changed during the day. For example, in the morning, they really need to wake up. They want to kickstart the day. They want to feel refreshed. For example, when you need a coffee in the morning. And during the day, they really wanted to feel confident, for example, at work or when they were engaged in meetings or stressful activities, or maybe when doing sports. And then at the end of the day, when they come home, they wanted to feel relaxed, like changing clothes and smell nice after a shower. And these changing emotions and mindsets and the subsequent needs supported a new fragrance release technology that could release bits of fragrances at different points in time, which also offered input for NPD for new product development. So by listening well, we could uncover emotions and changing needs during the day, which were not uncovered before. So let's move on to the value of embracing incongruities. So finding similarities in behavior and opinions is convenient, as it makes analysis easier, but it also confirms often what we already know. And interesting insights more often emerge from incongruities, as it's often a sign of different underlying needs one is not yet aware of. So that will uncover unmet needs, for example. The same holds true for uncovering frictions and frustrations one may or may not be aware of, because sometimes one has already found a solution or a way to deal with that frustration. And thirdly, a singular remark or illustrated behavior can really be a springboard for NPD. For example, the remark of a participant in research who said she always added an extra spoon of powder detergent to her whitewash, which led to the development of Vanish White. So it can be that one remark leading to a refreshing insight, a distinctive feature never thought of before. So in other words, real qual is about people making sense of people, leading to insights often not provided by interpreting user-generated data alone. Take, for example, the Play-Doh case you may be aware of. Play-Doh was originally created to be a cleaning product for filthy wallpaper. And the discovery that really saved the company wasn't that their wall cleaner worked particularly well, but that school children were beginning to use it for their arts and crafts projects. And then by removing the cleanser, adding colors and a fresh scent, the company changed the product into one of the most iconic toys of all time. So sometimes you don't even know how brilliant you are or how innovative your idea is until someone else notices it for you. So another example that really illustrates how friction can lead to innovation is a study we conducted for a package delivery company. So in the Netherlands, online shopping and package delivery are really on the rise. So more and more consumers purchase goods from the convenience of their homes. And especially in the bigger cities and in a small country that we live in, that can be a challenge because, you know, all those delivery vans can cause traffic jams, not to mention the environmental impact of individual package delivery. So in order to accommodate growth, we tested a green delivery concept among online shoppers using e-bags instead of vans. But when talking to these consumers, we discovered a friction between the convenience of home delivery versus the need to be at home. As the consequence of not being at home is often that you have to pick up your parcel at your neighbor's house, which can be a little bit inconvenient because it often goes with accompanying comments, like, for example, now, did you order shoes again? Which you're not looking forward to, of course. Or maybe that you have to pick up packages at several places in town because you have ordered several packages at different web shops. So this all these insights led to the second front door proposition, meaning that you can have all your packages delivered at a parcel shop. You can pick your parcels up there when it suits you for free. You can also ship from your parcel shop and hand in your returns. And if you really want to get it delivered, you can get it delivered by electrical bike. So these insights from the qual study really enrich the proposition by offering that convenience for the client and reducing the environmental impact at the same time. So this really shows that paying attention to incongruities can lead to interesting insights and successful innovation. So all in all, what does this mean for the role of qualitative in a bigger context? As we all know, it is crucial in a world overwhelmed with data to connect the dots and understand the bigger picture. Because of available and often referred to as no-question research, the available data coming from various sources will point you in the right direction. It will help you form hypotheses, discover white spaces, and uncover emerging trends. But big data that will show you trends and will maybe also show you where to look for and how big the potential is, but not what the underlying needs and motivations are. And behavioral data will probably show you what people do and when they do it, where they do it, and how they do it, but not why they do it. So to really understand the nuances, the beliefs, the opinions behind certain behavior, there is often a need to know why. And in this context, qualitative research can be that missing link to complete a story in an increasingly data-driven world. And when we listen well and embrace incongruities, the value of real qual will be evident. So another example to illustrate how qualitative research can really complete the story is a study we conducted for an online travel company. So being an online travel company, lots of data were available and analytics and conversion data. And the whole online travel journey was already mapped out in various phases. But in order to compete in this highly price-driven market and competitive market, the company really needed to look for key drivers and differentiating factors for each phase of the travel journey. So like the available data already showed during the qualitative research that we did, cost appeared to be the key decision factor underlying many decisions throughout the full online journey. But by listening well and focusing on frictions and frustrations throughout the full journey, we uncovered that the process of getting to the best deal is particularly frustrating. It costs quite a lot of time and need to go in and out and compare sites, etc. And confidence in actually getting the best deal was often lacking. So next to competitive pricing and optimal UX, which need to be at least up to par, a key differentiating factor appeared to be offering confidence in various ways. For example, by being transparent about pricing and why those prices, ticket prices, for example, change and vary all the time. So kind of, busting the myths about these ticket pricing stuff. And also offering features focused on confident decision-making. For example, an option to freeze your ticket price, which means that you can freeze the ticket price for a while, making sure that you can profit from the price, but that you also have some time to confer with your friends or your family or the people that you travel with that this really is the best deal for you. So although lots of behavioral and conversion data were already available, actually talking to the travelers, which we did in an online community with iterative feedback loops. So we had a couple of moments where we could show them stuff and talk to them again and again, clarify the underlying needs, leading to differentiating solutions. So this again illustrates that qualitative research can be that missing link to complete that data-driven story. So the key takeouts of what I wanted to tell you today is, first of all, listening well can really provide depth and context to available data and reveal opportunities not uncovered before. And then secondly, real qual is about people, making sense of people, leading to insights often not provided by interpreting user-generated data alone. And then thirdly, in an increasingly data-driven world, qualitative research can be the missing link to complete a story. So that's what I wanted to tell you today. So really, thanks very much for listening. And let me know if you have any questions.